The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 254 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Give him a Spider-Man thwip. When he spins his
okay.
web.
Hold on, let me try.
That was good.
Really?
I would even say Nicholas Hammond is the best Spider-Man.
Wait. That's another thing. He looked 5 years older, so I was like, wait, the people who stayed... I was confused.
It was a denouement of Phase 3.
Fancy talk. I loved the fact that she wore no makeup.
I gotta be honest, I didn't notice that at all. So this is all gonna change next week with Comic-Con.
Probably.
Do you know what it was? It was the Peter Tingle.
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland.
Here we go.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets love.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! Have you said your final goodbye to Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Spider-Man Far From Home? Do you now wonder what is in store for the world's mightiest heroes? Well, if you said yes to both, then we want to welcome you to Skywalking Through Neverland. We are your podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, and Marvel fandom. I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife Sarah, the MJ to my Rich. That's the best I can do on a moment's notice.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I have no comeback to that. So I'll just give everyone a big Wookiee hug to our family of Skywalkers.
Give him a Spider-Man thwip. When he spins his web.
Hold on, let me try.
That was good.
Really?
Yes, it was. It was better than your pew pew.
Oh my goodness, that was good. I'm so excited.
See, you're getting there with sound effects.
Okay.
Take some time.
Yeah. Next time, I'll be the next Ben Burt. There you go.
Or Michael Winslow.
Who's that? Who's that?
Skywalkers, tweet in at Skywalking Pod. Tell Sarah who Michael Winslow is.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe you face huggers can tell me. We're going live on Facebook right now. So if you guys know who Michael Winslow is, let us know in the comments. And we want to thank everyone for listening to the show every single week. We love it when you share our joy and this adventure through fandom.
All right, contest is over. Mercado already got it.
Oh, what'd he say?
Police Academy.
What?
Michael Winslow was the guy who did all the sound effects with his mouth.
Spaceballs, right?
Yes.
I'm having trouble with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
I've never seen Police Academy, but I have seen Spaceballs. Yes, I have.
You know what?
So he's the one who had like the...
Yeah, he made
like
all
the
these
sounds.
crazy... Yeah, and it wasn't dubbed in later on. That was really him. I saw him live back in the 80s doing something or other, and he was doing all this stuff with his mouth. Very, very crazy. And you know what? Maybe at some point for the Culture Popcast, we can go over the Police Academy films.
Whoa. All right.
I haven't seen those films in 30 years.
Well, wow. Okay. Well, we are recording this episode from Long Beach, California on July 12th.
And what year is it? Minnie, what year is it?
What year? What do you mean, what year? Stop asking her questions she can't answer.
Minnie, what is your blood type?
No, okay.
Minnie, what is your
what?
What is your PIN number?
Minnie's upset, so here's Mickey.
It's 1:23. Good afternoon.
What doesn't he say like Pacific Standard Time? Tell us where he is. Where's he coming from?
Minnie's upset. She's upset with you.
Just want to know what her PIN number is and her mother's maiden name. Come on.
Oh. Well, this episode of Skywalking Through Neverland is proudly sponsored by Small World Vacations. They are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency, and they can help you book your next trip to any Disney destination around the world. And best of all, their service is free of charge. So head to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them that Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
And the money you saved can go into adopting a loth cat or a Minoc.
Aww.
Or a dewback.
or some Ariel ears, which I'm wearing right now.
Yes. Sarah adopted the Ariel ears she's wearing right now.
Yes.
For a low price of $25. All right, now coming up on this episode, we run down the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 3 and give our thoughts on the Phase 3 Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Wait, you're just confusing people now.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I was while watching this film. Like, why is this the end of Phase 3? Why can't this be the beginning of Phase 4?
Well, it's so reactionary to Endgame, I suppose.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It would have been a nice segue into Phase 4, in my humble opinion. Why didn't Kevin Feige call and ask me this?
I'm sorry.
Well, speaking of Phase 4, we're going to go into the films that are rumored for Phase 4. And every day you look, a new film is added or deleted or subtracted or
right.
Yeah, so these we went through a lot of different lists and got all of the most common denominators and put it in this one list. But that could change in 5 minutes.
That could change at San Diego Comic-Con.
And it will. And it'll change again at D23 Expo in August.
Absolutely. Now here are
things we want to share.
Things we want to share. Things we want to share. Things we want to share.
All right, Skywalkers, we are headed to San Diego Comic-Con. We're headed there for the first time in 10 years.
Wow, 10 years.
It's been 10 years.
I would have said like 6 years, maybe 5-6 years.
2009.
Goodness gracious.
I know. Wow. So we're excited about it. And we will be exploring the Lucasfilm Pavilion on the show floor, which will have a ton of great booths and merchandise. So look for a video of that on our YouTube channel. And we will finally be attending the Her Universe Fashion Show on Thursday, July 18th. I'm so excited to finally be attending this show.
Yeah, you've been talking about this for years.
I know. Every year I follow it and I'm so excited about it, but I never get to go. And this year we're going.
And was it last year or the year before that? Didn't Ashley come out in the Lego Ahsoka dress?
Yes, she did.
So adorable.
She always has really cool outfits. So I'm excited to see these in person.
Yeah, you know what? John Zancanaro on YouTube is asking if we're going to get all the Sith Trooper merchandise.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay, so we entered the lotteries and didn't get any of them, but we did not enter the lottery for that. We entered the lottery for like the Orville signing and Simpsons signings, and we didn't get them.
No.
But that's okay. I'm just excited that they're going to be there, and there's going to be a lot of fun panels, including Lucas's Museum of Narrative Art.
Right, yeah. I can't wait for that.
There's going to be a panel on that. Now, I may not be able to attend that because I'll be attending some panels on movie music, including one hosted by Michael Giacchino. So I am excited about that.
However, I will be attending this.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've gotten information on the Lucas Museum, which is where is it? Right here in Los Angeles.
Woo, right where I went to college.
Thank you.
Exciting.
Thank you, San Francisco and Chicago, for turning it down, because now it's right down the street.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Now, the Sith Trooper merchandise, let's go back to this.
Yes.
You had to get into a lottery like at Celebration, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with your pass or your press pass, you could enter an online lottery. And it's per day, per like different hours of pickup times.
Yeah, as great as the merchandise looks,
well,
I'm gonna save my money for something else. It just didn't scream out to me.
Okay, on the Sith Trooper.
On the Sith Trooper,
you know what screamed out to me though?
What?
So Rock Love Jewelry has an all-new collection. For the first time ever, she's doing a Star Wars collection. And this jewelry is fantastic. And we will definitely be checking out Allison's booth in detail and hopefully talking with her too. We're trying to work that out where we can get a fun video of her and her jewelry talking about this new line. And she's got this Ahsoka ring. It's so cool. It's like enamel and oh my gosh. And all this fun stuff. Oh, and a gonk droid necklace.
And a gonk droid necklace.
And
an AT-AT with movable legs.
Yeah, everything like moves. It's amazing.
All right, now this just in.
Yes.
Why haven't I heard about this? Alex Ross has got a Monkeys exclusive? Who said that?
That's Glenn.
Oh, Glenn on YouTube.
Oh.
He's got how do I not know these things?
I don't know. Well, we've been so entrenched in Galaxy's Edge that we haven't really been like looking at anything else. It's like blinders on for Galaxy's Edge.
An exclusive what? What is this?
We'll have to look it up. It'll be exciting.
Yeah. Luckily for these face huggers on here.
Yeah, and Bryn, she can't wait to see coverage of the Her Universe fashion show. Yeah, so exciting. Okay, Glenn just went through a list of exclusives on the web. Please send us a link to that list because I really, really was trying to find that the other day and could not. So if you could, please put that link here.
Yeah, nicely done. Thank you very much.
Now, also at San Diego Comic-Con, I will be on a panel on Friday at 4 p.m. called Heroes on the Mic, and I'll be representing Fangirls Going Rogue, and the panel is all about podcasting, so I'll be with some other podcasters on that too. Looking forward to that. So, Skywalkers, just stay tuned to our social media at Skywalking Pod for San Diego Comic-Con coverage because of course, when you go down there, you'll always run into things that we didn't know were there. You know, we'll stumble into cool stuff, especially even outside the con. So mostly, I know I will be sharing on Instagram and Instagram stories for at Skywalking Pod, but that will also populate to Facebook and Twitter as well. And also, Trisha Barr and BJ, they will be covering for Fangirls Going Rogue. So they will also be there. So please follow at FG Going Rogue as well. And we're going to like divide and conquer.
And we did reach out to Lou Ferrigno to get an interview with him. I've waited to talk with him for decades. And they had announced that he was going to have to pull out of Comic-Con because of a family emergency.
Oh, sad.
Oh, I wanted a one-on-one with Lou Ferrigno.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been so close, but yet so far. So there are so many things we're going to be doing at Comic-Con. So if anyone has any suggestions or want us to look for something, find someone and talk to a certain person, let us know. We'll be there, mics in hand.
And we look forward to seeing our San Diego Skywalkers, as well as Trisha Barr, of course, author Adam Bray, and so many more.
Yeah, Margaret Mays.
Yeah.
And Brian Sims. Oh, so much. Now, speaking of so much, so much is happening in the world of Galaxy's Edge. What is going on?
We got some news.
On July 11th, Disney Parks blog had some news on the opening of Rise of the Resistance at Galaxy's Edge. Guess what? On December the 5th, this attraction will open at Walt Disney World in Florida. Wait a minute, December the 5th. What are we celebrating on December the 5th of this year?
We're celebrating 15 days before Rise of Skywalker.
That, plus the 118th birthday of Walt Disney himself.
Oh my!
Yes, I believe somewhere in his will, he said that he wanted Rise of the Resistance to open on his 118th birthday. I don't know why it's in his will. That's just where it ended up. And guess what? They obliged.
Oh my gosh.
But then, what happens to Disneyland here in Anaheim? When's Rise of the Resistance gonna open? Well, like Walt Disney, they're honoring him on his birthday. They're going to honor me on my birthday.
What?
Because Rise of the Resistance opens here at Disneyland on January 17th, the day after my birthday.
Richard, that's not your birthday.
Well, January 16th is. Apparently, the 16th was too full on their schedule.
They got their wires crossed.
Yeah,
you know
my
what?
Goodness.
We'll go on the 16th, and maybe there will be a soft opening.
Probably.
What do you think?
But I'm just happy. I'm just happy that it's opening on my birthday, the day after my birthday. This is so exciting. And to the people at the Disney headquarters, I really appreciate this. I know it was going to be a surprise. The cat's out of the bag. The lost cat's out of the bag. And now I can't tell you how excited I am.
Oh.
I think at this point, then we're going to see Galaxy's Edge really flooded with people. Because right now we're seeing a lot of comments that people are waiting until Rise of the Resistance opens to then visit Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of comments, oh, Galaxy's Edge is a bust. The land is empty. You guys, there's so many pass holders that are blocked out right now, and people are scared of going to Disneyland because they think it's going to be crowded. So I just think people are staying away and going to like Knott's Berry Farm. Now Jurassic World, that ride just opened at Universal. Like there's plenty to do.
Yeah, I don't think Disney's worried about Universal or Knott's Berry Farm at all.
Yeah.
But we are seeing a lot of these comments, and if I see one more video that says Galaxy's Edge a flop, I'm going to bust something.
There's some comments on our videos, and it's like, really, guys? Really? Just chill.
Yeah, the times we've been there, I think it's 8 now. It's been full.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been to the point where you can't move around. They've really done a great job on keeping the capacity at such a level where you can move around freely and not have to bump into people every time you turn and hit people's backpacks and the whole backpack thing. Don't get me started on that one.
But July 5th was a really busy day at the Disneyland Resort, and when we popped into Galaxy's Edge for an hour, it was super crowded. And in fact, I even had to wait in a little line to refill my water at the Dianoga's station.
We had talked to a security guard and said, hey, how was business yesterday? And he said, it was pretty slow, which is understandable.
Yeah.
Because I know our friend Eric Walker, who's right now on YouTube, he went, and I thought, oh boy, that's not a good time to go. It's going to be so crowded. But I think that's the thinking everyone else had.
Exactly.
So everyone stayed away.
Yeah.
And then everyone thought like we did, and we'll go on July the 5th.
Yep.
And it was crowded.
And it was super crowded. So basically, go against your instincts when it comes to Disneyland.
Right.
So Dynamo, we did not get a chance to craft our own lightsabers, but we got to experience the experience 3 times with 3 different people who had their lightsabers made. So that was really cool.
Now, the press release did have this blurb. Guests will be recruited to join Rey and General Organa at a secret base. Along the way, they will be captured by your First Order Star Destroyer. With the help of some heroes of the Resistance, they break out and must escape the Star Destroyer, protect the secret base, and stay one step ahead of Kylo Ren. Now, did we know about having General Organa incorporated in this?
No, I didn't know about that.
This is the first time I'm hearing of this too.
Wow.
Whoa.
This sounds so exciting, and we were told that a lot of the Batuu locals who are assigned to Rise of the Resistance will be involved in this attraction, like as almost actors in it. You know, that they're heavily involved. Like the best of the best, the cream of the crop is what's working on Rise of the Resistance, and we are so excited to see them.
And once again, Disney, I really thank you for this birthday present. I don't know what I can do on your birthday, but you know what? I will rise to the occasion. All right, Sarah, with that, now let's talk some Marvel Cinematic Universe with Marvel's Phase 3, Phase 4, and Spider-Man Far From Home. And like we said at the beginning, there will be spoilers.
Attention, Skywalkers. Spoilers ahead.
Warning!
Attention, Skywalkers. Spoilers ahead.
Warning!
Spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead.
3 years and 11 movies later, the MCU just closed out Phase 3 with Spider-Man Far From Home. So let's go over what films encompassed this last phase, which ones were sequels versus what were origin stories, and this will all come into play as we look over next year's start of Phase 4. Also in this segment, we'll give our reactions to Spider-Man Far From Home.
Now let's travel back to 2016 at the start of the MCU Phase 3.
Okay.
And we had Captain America Civil War.
Oh.
So this one was a sequel. This was,
It was the second.
No.
No?
Third. It had-
Civil War,
yeah,
yes.
Okay, that's where I got lost. Yeah, Winter Soldier, then Civil War.
Exactly.
That was Captain America Part 3.
I was blown away by that film.
Yeah, I think still that's one of my top 3 MCU films. And in that same year, we had an origin story with Doctor Strange.
Indeed.
Now, this is another one of those movies that never should have worked.
Right.
Doctor Strange, he was, it was more of a cerebral kind of a superhero film. You had to really pay attention to all these phases and multiverses and planes and stuff. I thought, oh boy, as a kid, I got one issue of this and said, okay, where's Batman?
Oh, funny.
Where's Spider-Man?
So as a comic, it didn't really work for you.
No, not at all. I liked his costume. Other than that, that was
You
it.
say that about every superhero.
Loved the costumes. Loved the
Well,
cape.
I think, honestly, can you imagine anyone else as Doctor Strange except for Benedict Cumberbatch?
Halle Berry.
So, okay, all kidding aside, I think that he had a huge drawing power to that film. I mean, he's, very, very
He's got
up
that
there.
look.
Yeah, he's got the look, and, like, girls love him, guys love him. Like, I think he just has that magnetism that was needed for this, to pull people into this role. Because I know for me, I didn't know who Doctor Strange was from Adam. I didn't read comic books, but I sure as heck knew who Benedict Cumberbatch was.
Yeah, Adam's a whole different superhero. It's Adam Warlock.
Yeah. And we heard about him.
Yes, we did. At the deep dive there. All right, now the first film of 2017, which is the third film in Phase 3, was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Nice.
Another sequel. And I think this film is up there, I would say, in my top 5 of MCU films.
Wow.
I just love Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, me too. And I really love the fleshing out of the story of the sisters. You had Gamora
And Nebula.
and their story is so contentious, and they didn't really touch on it in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, but in this one you got a whole bunch of drama of that, which leads into Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame as well. So I think that was the sowing seeds right there.
Well, plus it had a really rockin' soundtrack.
Yeah.
You throw a George Harrison in there, you got me. You got me. Next up is the fourth film, and that's Spider-Man Homecoming. And this is not a sequel. It's not an origin film. It's somewhere in the superhero limbo storytelling, because we already saw him in Civil War.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And we didn't really get an origin story, which I'm so... All right, Marvel, Disney... If you're listening, we don't need any more origin stories on Spider-Man. We're good there. And they did the right thing by not having an origin story.
I agree.
Perfect. And I love this film. Just didn't love the title. Homecoming. You were at the homecoming dance for about a minute and a half, and you went off to fight Batman, Michael Keaton.
I love the ending of this film with Aunt May.
Yeah.
What the?
Right.
That was amazing.
All right, now what do you think about the fifth film, Thor Ragnarok?
Wow. So this film, I remember, Richard, we got out of that theater and we kind of looked at each other kind of confused. It surprised us at how funny it was. It was a little off the wall, and it was almost like Thor had changed his character, like completely. And when I went to the press conference for Thor Ragnarok, I immediately understood why this film was so wacky. And it was because of the director. The director himself is wacky. So Taika Waititi, and he was just off the wall.
I'm so happy that he's going to be involved in Mandalorian.
Oh!
He's the voice of IG-88.
That's right.
And he'll be directing an episode
Okay.
too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's a little off the wall, but that's one thing I really admire the MCU for, is going with directors that have a totally different style.
Thor Ragnarok is the third film in 2017.
Wow.
Now, the third MCU film in 2017, but you never hear anyone saying, oh, that's way too much. MCU fatigue. Can't do it. But yet, you get 2 Star Wars films in 5 months, and people are going, too much.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
Remember back in 1983, when it was like, wait, when can we get more Star Wars? We need more Star Wars. Give more Star Wars, and people are complaining.
Oh.
So now let's go to 2018 with the 6th film, which is Black Panther.
Wow. Talk about breaking boundaries. I think this is when the MCU started getting...
They got braver.
Exactly. They got braver. They started getting a reputation for breaking boundaries, and the whole cultural commentary, at the time.
Oh, sure.
And still is diversity. And so this is where they started to really show that in their films.
Right, and they've been talking about this film, not Marvel, Disney, but they've been talking about doing a Black Panther film since the 80s.
Right.
And now here it is, and it's just, you know what? Maybe it took that long to do a film that great.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if things take longer to do, but they're better, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, and we got it, and look what we got. Plus, one of the best MCU villains of all time with Eric Killmonger.
Yes, and I have to say, some of the best, like, female characters interacting with each other in this film. Like, you had a sister, you had a friend, you had a warrior, and you had a mom, and they were all, like, talking to each other, like, not about who's your favorite guy, like, who do you want to date, but, like, let's save Wakanda, and it was just so cool.
I still think Shuri is one of the best MCU characters out there.
She's amazing. I wish she and Tony had, like, more scenes, but that's not happening.
Well, the thing is with her, she's like the antithesis of Tony, where Tony is very full of himself and yet very intelligent. Shuri is very intelligent, but yet very humble. Mm-hmm. Because she never really had to prove herself like Tony always had to do and be the smartest person in the room. Shuri always knew she was the smartest person in the room.
Yes.
All right, now we come to the 7th film in the MCU, Phase 3, Avengers Infinity War.
Woo!
Oh, well, that's a mouthful right there.
This movie knocked the breath out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember at the end of the film, when the snap happened, I was gutted. I was like, wait, and then you're ending?
Yeah,
wait,
roll
what's
credits.
happening?
No,
what's going on? I was so confused. And even though it was a really long movie, I still was like, wait, don't we need a final act here? What's happening?
Boy, if you thought people went nuts because the ending of The Empire Strikes Back left us on a cliffhanger with Han Solo being in carbonite, here we just wiped out the whole Avengers team and most of the world too. All right, this just in. Eric Walker said on YouTube, Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man.
Ooh. And Dynamo,
you know what?
75.
I would even say Nicholas Hammond is the best Spider-Man.
Wait, is he from the 60s? Does he play Kurt?
Yes.
In Sound of Music?
Yes, from the 1970 Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man TV show.
Oh my goodness.
And he wore that really dopey, skin-tight spandex suit with a big, giant, round, woodsy owl eyes.
Oh my goodness.
I would like to see Tom Holland up against Nicholas Hammond.
Me too. Me too. Well, Dynamo75 on YouTube says, I think they should keep Tom Holland around by playing more Spider-Man movies. Do we know, well, I guess we'll get into
Phase 4
okay.
very, very soon.
Okay. All right, so the 8th film in Phase 3 is Ant-Man and the Wasp in 2018.
So like Black Panther, this one is put up there because it has a female in the title of the film.
Exactly.
And one of the main characters. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're breaking boundaries. Mm-hmm. At the beginning of this year, 2019, we saw Captain Marvel. So this, I know I keep saying this, I think this is one of the best MCU films.
You keep saying that.
I know I do.
Okay, well, obviously I do too. All of my Captain Marvel merch. Where's my sunglasses? All right, but yeah, so Captain Marvel, I mean, this blew us away. Captain Marvel is the origin story that is so different. And I love that about this film.
So now this one is an origin story, and Ant-Man, going backwards, Ant-Man and the Wasp was a sequel, Avengers Infinity War a sequel, and so where do we fall here on the ratio? But hold on, we have more. Another film, a sequel in Phase 3, and that's Endgame. Did that movie come out yet? I forget. Was that something?
That came out this year.
Yes, it did.
Bare 3 months after Captain Marvel? 3 months?
Yeah, and no one is complaining about Marvel fatigue.
No.
Now, did anyone on Facebook or on YouTube, did they see the re-release of Endgame with the extra scenes in the post-credit sequence?
Oh, we didn't make it to the theater.
Well, it's still out there.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think have we only seen it once in the theater?
Yeah, that's 3 hours.
It is. It's 3 hours.
Yeah, we'll need to get it when it streams and then watch it in chunks.
Yeah.
And right now, people at Disney going, no, it's not the way you should watch a movie like Endgame. See it in a big screen.
You really should.
Right. And now we come to the last film in Phase 3, and that's Spider-Man Far From Home.
Wow.
Which
Endgame was such an ender. Like,
Yeah.
it wrapped up people's stories. You had such a nice, neat little bow on things.
it was a denouement of Phase 3.
Fancy talk.
There you go.
What does this mean?
I pull out these 5-cent words when I'm trying to prove a point.
What's denouement?
That's the ending, the finis.
Okay.
And yeah,
What language is that?
I believe it's French.
Okay.
Finis, yeah, that's French right there.
Well,
I don't
is
know.
that Latin? Wow, we're Americans, aren't we?
All right, I think you're focusing on the wrong thing.
I think so too.
All right, so now, out of all those films, 7 were sequels.
Wow, okay.
7 out of the 11 were sequels and 4 origin stories. So let's compare that in a few minutes when we get to Phase 4.
Okay.
But right now, we got some talking to do about Spider-Man Far From Home.
Stark chose you. He made you an Avenger. The world needs that.
Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him.
I'm telling you, he second-guessed everything he did. But the one thing that he didn't second-guess was picking you.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
You gonna be the next Iron Man now?
And once again, there will be spoilers.
Attention Skywalkers. Spoilers ahead.
Warning. Warning.
Attention Skywalkers. Spoilers ahead.
Warning. Warning.
Spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead.
Spider-Man Far From Home. Richard, we just got back from seeing this film, and let's give a few reactions at first.
All right, now, when I first saw the trailer, I loved the idea of Spider-Man going to Europe, and that was one of the high points of the Christopher Nolan Batman series when Batman went to Japan.
Ooh.
I love that. And other than that, I don't recall anything else from those Batman movies. But Batman in Japan, I loved it. So when I saw Spider-Man, Spider-Man's going to Europe. Don't know why I love that, but I do. I think because he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but now he's in Europe. That's just so much fun. But then I saw Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, and my excitement plummeted.
Why was that? This is just seeing the trailers, though,
Just seeing
right?
the trailer,
Okay.
yeah. And because why do you need pretty boys in these films? You don't need it. Oh, apparently, look at Avengers.
Brings in the ladies. Come on.
Yeah.
At least at first. I think now we're all invested, though.
Yeah, exactly. So when I saw Jake Gyllenhaal with his hair all poofed up and looking like he just stepped out of GQ, I thought, we don't need this. Just keep the big fish bowl on your head the whole time, and I'll be good. But when I saw the film, I love Jake Gyllenhaal in this. He was great as Mysterio. I thought he was fantastic. This should have been very, very predictable because, as we all know, Mysterio is a villain.
Right.
So at what point is this going to turn? But then he brings up the multiverse. Mysterio, when Mysterio and Spider-Man and Nick Fury are down in the whatever that base was below Vienna, and Mysterio starts talking about the Earth he's from. I thought, oh, wait a minute. Did the trailers deceive us? And maybe Mysterio is going to be a good guy? And I was so excited about this. And he didn't really play it as an evil villain. But then tables are turned. And we find out that everything is just an illusion because that is his power. Whereas in the comic books, Mysterio is a special effects artist.
Oh.
So that's what he can do. He bends everything around visual effects.
Oh, fun. That seems like your kind of guy.
I loved it. So now he is someone who used to work for Tony Stark. He's in the Stark Industries. He's up with technology. So instead of using visual effects like in movies, he's got drones everywhere projecting images and realities.
That was really cool. Cloaked drones.
Oh, yeah.
How awesome is that?
Yeah. And the fact that he wanted to become the next Iron Man, become the world's greatest superhero, but like all well-rounded villains, he's doing the wrong things for the right reasons. He just wanted to really save people. and be there like Iron Man was. But he just didn't look at how he was getting there. Like Thanos, like Eric Killmonger, they just wanted peace and they wanted to help people. But you're really contradicting yourself by killing everyone in the process.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this was a really, really fun film with a lot of great emotional scenes wrapped around big action-adventure sequences.
Which is just how Marvel does it best.
Mm-hmm.
Also, on top of that, I mean, I thought this film was so funny. I know, Richard, you and I were like laughing out loud in this theater. I think we kind of had a dead audience because I felt like we were the ones who were like the loudest.
They throw out a lot of pulp culture references.
Which we get.
Which, yeah, we're right there.
Yeah, they had the references to Star Wars and some of the other Marvel films. Like, that was great. And one of the things I loved about Far From Home in particular is when you look at Endgame, when you look at Captain Marvel, when you look at Black Panther, you're dealing with adult characters. You know, they're all adults. They have adult problems. They're very much like in the zone of adulthood. Mm-hmm. And as adults watching, you know, you get it, you understand it, it's great. But watching Far From Home, you're dealing with teenagers. You're dealing with Peter Parker and his friends and their love romantic problems and all this fun stuff that totally brings you back to your teenage years. Like, I thought it was so cute, these touching emotional moments, like the first kiss, the awkwardness, like, oh, brush hands. Yeah. Oh, do I hold a hand? Like, oh, that little tingly feeling you get inside when you don't know what to do.
We went to first base. We touched hands.
Exactly. And I was just all those little emotions that you remember from your teenage years. I know they were brought up back for me. Like, I thought that was so much fun.
Yeah. Here's Peter Parker fighting Thanos, but he just doesn't know how to put into words how much he cares for MJ.
I know.
I love that dichotomy.
Oh, so cute. Now, so overall, you know, I totally enjoyed the film as well, but there were just a few moments that took me out of the story a bit, but then I just decided to suspend my disbelief and enjoy. So we'll go over those moments a little later.
Okay. Well, what did work for you?
Okay. Well, what worked for me was definitely the chemistry in this film. Not only the chemistry of the teenagers, but Aunt May and Happy.
Happy, played by Jon Favreau.
Yeah, they were happy.
Finally, Happy is happy.
And they're all like teasing each other and flirting in front of Peter, and he just doesn't know how to handle it. It's so funny. I thought that was cute. And I was surprised that Nick Fury had such a big role in it, but it kind of makes sense because he's taking the place of Tony Stark in the film. So I thought that definitely worked.
Right. Plus, you need someone to set out the heroes on a mission.
Right.
And that's one part that did not work for me. The fact that here's Mr. Fury and he's trying to get Peter Parker away from his school vacation, his school trip to Vienna to go on a mission. It's like, Mr. Fury, I'm sure you got other people to attend to this. Leave Peter Parker alone. He's 16. Let him be a kid. After all he's been through, let him be a kid. And I know Peter Parker had said the same thing. You know what? You can go to Thor. He's off-world. Go to Captain Marvel. And they said, don't ever invoke her name. I'm not sure what that meant. And he was looking for other heroes to take his place, but apparently everyone else was off-world or doing something else, so he had to come to Spider-Man. So I thought, oh, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. But going back to what worked, I love the fact that this was a different kind of film, and it was a high school superhero film.
Yes.
And all those, like you were saying earlier, those young moments of getting a boyfriend or a girlfriend while on a trip.
Kind of the coming of age moments.
Yes. And I remember when I was in that same era of my life when everyone had gone to like this camp for like a week during school and you see all the little romances blossom. So when I saw this in the film and Peter Parker's friend Ned He's like, all right, we're two single guys out in Europe. We're going to tear apart this continent.
And one 9-hour plane ride.
At the end of the plane ride, he's got a girlfriend. So all that went out the window.
Hey, babe. How you doing, babe? So funny. Wow.
And I just thought this was more relatable, this kind of film, because we've all been there in high school and in any kind of schooling. And I thought it was more relatable than having someone like Iron Man with a Swiss Army knife suit that could do anything at any time. Now here's Spider-Man, and he does have the suit that does most of the work, but yet it's all his internal struggles that he's having a real issue with.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like I said earlier, about the multiverse. The multiverse. Now, this could be good or bad. And we saw a lot of this, and of course, in the Spider-Verse, the animated film, where you could see where there's so many different Spider-Mans and so many different universes that there's so much potential. But you start throwing it into these films and what universe is going to be real. And the Ancient One in Doctor Strange had prefaced the multiverse in passing.
Oh.
But now it's coming to light. And even though Mysterio had said he was from the multiverse, we found out that he's really lying. However, he did set up the fact that there is really a multiverse out there. So you never know what could happen, meaning Tony Stark, he could come back. He could come back in a different verse.
That's true. They throw enough money at...
Yeah, that's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of the multiverses because someone could die and all right, they'll come back. There's never that urgency of no, please. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm so worried that if he dies, he'll be back.
Well, in Endgame, didn't we deal with the multiverse already? We dealt with not Gamora, Nebula. Nebula had to kill herself from another multiverse.
Right.
Yeah.
And like Bryce had said on YouTube, that's what happened to Gamora.
Yes.
Yes, they did all these multiverses so you can bring characters back.
Yes, that's right. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I hope they don't go too much into that, because I want to be able to know that if we lose a character, that you really hurt and feel for this character.
Mm-hmm.
If he's on the deathbed, if he's going to sacrifice himself, then it's going to mean so much more if that is the finish of that character.
Right. So John said what worked for him. He enjoyed the intro high school video that explained what happened to the people who blipped.
Oh, thank you, John,
Oof.
on YouTube.
Wow. Yeah, we're going to get into the blip because I was confused, honestly.
That's the part that really confused me. And it confused all of us.
Yes.
We went into a group to see this, and it's like, did you guys get that blip part?
Yeah.
Took a little while. We get the whole idea of it, but
right.
some of the little nuances, not so much. Yeah.
All right, so should we talk about the blip?
Let's talk about the blip. We're already here, and then we'll go back.
Okay, so I did some research, and we'll just explain the blip and then try to explain it in terms of Far From Home. So when Thanos snapped his fingers in Infinity War, half the population disappeared, right? So 5 years later, Professor Hulk restores that half of the population using the Infinity Gauntlet, but it took them 5 years. So then we get the blip, whereas everyone who disappeared 5 years ago all of a sudden reappears in exactly the same place that they disappeared. So
And the same age.
So hence Aunt May, reappears in her apartment 5 years later, but it's 5 years later, it's being rent out to a different family. Like, it's no longer her apartment. She wasn't there to pay her rent for 5 years.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So let's go to the case of who's the guy that MJ doesn't like but likes her. Who's Peter's
the rival for her affection?
Yeah, the rival. That's where I got confused because they mentioned that he was 5 years older. So I thought he was 5 years older, but then yet still going to high school. He did not blip. So he grew up and aged normally. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like everyone's saying on Facebook.
Yeah.
He didn't blip.
Right. He didn't blip.
Right.
So, but he was 5 years younger when they knew him. But all of a sudden, he's in their grade because he aged.
Aged 5 years.
The thing was, he was younger. He was 5 years younger than high school when the snap happened. So he did not blip.
So he is 5 years younger than Peter Parker and MJ.
Yes.
Well, he looked 5 years older than everybody
He
else,
did.
too.
That's another thing. He looked 5 years older, so I was like, wait, the people who stayed, I was confused. So now I hope that didn't confuse you too much, Skywalkers, because I think we might have confused some people.
The whole blip thing was just, what's going on here? And one moment that was lost was when Peter got to the airport on his way to Europe, and TSA had opened up his suitcase, and there's Spider-Man's suit.
Yes.
And because Aunt May had packed it, just in case. You never know. And the TSA security officer looked at him, at Peter Parker, and they cut away. It's like, oh my goodness! Well, there was a missed opportunity for a great line. Like, Peter could have said, oh yeah, we're going to Comic-Con over in Vienna. This is my costume.
Aww.
That would have been awesome! But they cut away. And I was so disappointed in that. Now, let's get back to that suitcase that Peter Parker had. And if you saw the initials, it was for his uncle, Uncle Ben Parker.
Oh.
Yeah, because they had showed his initials very, very closely, so you would get that. The fact that it was Peter's uncle who had died.
I totally didn't get that.
Yeah, that's what really turned Peter into becoming a superhero way back when, is because his uncle was killed the same way Bruce Wayne's parents were killed by this mugger. So we saw Ben Parker's initials on a suitcase.
Okay.
Now, my mind started flickering, and when I was seeing a movie, like, we've seen this trope before, where someone's initials or names on a suitcase or baggage. This was Peter Parker's baggage.
Ooh.
So in the end, that suitcase got blown up. So that was Peter Parker's moving on. And I thought,
whoa,
all that film school theory really paid off.
Whoa.
I thought that was a great, very subtle moment.
But you got it.
Yeah. Whenever they show something in close-up, it's like, okay, that's going to come back. But his name is, B. B's for Ben. Ben, that's Ben's suitcase. That's Peter's baggage. Oh, click, 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 click. Everything started aligning.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was a great scene in that regard. I just wish they had paid it off. So close.
Yeah, me too.
So close. And something else that didn't work, there's no Stan Lee cameo. What?
Well,
maybe there was some kind of a background reference to him. I don't know, but I kept looking for Stan Lee, and it was reported that Stan Lee had shot so much, and because of the other cameos he did, that they could have done what they're doing with Carrie Fisher and just CGIing him into another scene. And I was so hoping they were going to do that. Okay. Arg. All right, moving on.
So I'll mention one thing. And that is when Mysterio, he finally reveals his identity and the identity of all the others in his group as villains. Basically, it's this huge scene where it's so expositional. He's like, and I did this because of this, and this guy did this.
This is right after Mysterio and Spider-Man had fought the Elementals.
Yes.
Okay.
And right after Spider-Man gave him Edith.
Tony Stark's sunglasses.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
They were in this little pub. And I thought something was odd just because there was just a big catastrophe outside. Vienna was ripped apart by a fire monster. And here are all of these people in the pub just sitting around like it was a Saturday afternoon. I thought,
that seems odd.
John Watts, the director, great director, should have known better. What is going on here? But then, like you said, when Peter leaves after giving him Tony Stark's Edith sunglasses, and then Mysterio turns off the devices, and we see that everything was just an illusion, and it was all of his people in this rundown, burnt-out pub, because he just wanted Edith's sunglasses. He wanted to get on the side of Peter Parker.
Right. So, I mean, I do realize that they needed this scene, that it was necessary for kind of the whole twist and turn of the film, but I just thought it was so... it just screamed exposition.
And it worked for me, but I was just too focused on the background extras. Come on, people. Be on your cell phones. Are you okay? Is everything all right? And what's going on? And calling your insurance companies. That's where my mind went.
The destruction of our house really did a number on us last year. Whenever we see like destruction, especially of people's homes in any film now, we're just like, oh, cringing, going, no, oh, it's gonna take so long to fix.
Yeah. Right.
At the end, the final battle, you have Mysterio, you have Spidey trying to get to Mysterio, and there's all these drones after him. How do they all miss him?
It was the Peter Tingle. A lot of people got very upset with this, with them using the word tingle.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
That's a common thing to say. His spider senses are tingling.
Yeah.
It's a tingle. I was right on board with that one. It fit in with the continuity. It is the spider sense tingle. Of course, they could have said his spider senses, his spidey sense. Oh, if they ever called him Spidey, his spidey senses are tingling. I will drop it. Not sure what that it is, but I will drop it if they ever refer to him as Spidey. That refers back to the Electric Company, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, where are you coming from, Spider-Man? Nobody knows who you are.
Why wasn't Spidey in the multiverse, in the Spider-Verse? Sony, you dropped the ball on that one.
Oh, right. Oh, that would have been funny. I think that would have been cool.
All right, now I want to talk about my one standout scene.
Okay.
My favorite scene. That's when there was a Star Wars reference. Okay, now let's set it up here.
Okay.
Mr. Fury says to Peter when he's trying to talk him into coming on to this mission in Vienna. Mr. Fury says, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown." And looks at Peter Parker, and Peter's like, what? Huh? And then he continues, Tony Stark said that if it wasn't a Star Wars reference, you wouldn't understand. Now, you tell me why that was my favorite standout scene in this movie.
Because it's Star Wars. They mentioned Star Wars.
Who's mentioning Star Wars?
Oh, Fury. Oh, wait. Oh, my goodness. Mace Windu?
Mace Windu? He's making a Star Wars reference.
That is pretty awesome.
Oh my goodness, that is so Inception.
Aww.
I love that. I think that's the part where we just howled for about 15 minutes in laughter.
Yes, I agree.
Now, there was a cut Star Wars scene from this.
What?
And that's when Peter Parker, he needs money to get to Europe, so he sells all of the Star Wars toys. He wants to sell everything, and this scene was confirmed by Tom Holland on the press junket.
Ooh.
He sells everything but one item. And that one item is a Lobot action figure.
Oh,
Lobot, of all people. But this ties into his connection with The Empire Strikes Back. Oh, in fact, if you look at Homecoming, in Peter Parker's room, there's Star Wars toys everywhere. And up on a shelf, there's a whole row of action figures. And right in the middle is Lobot.
Wow.
I know.
Another example of the MCU just tracking things out. I love that.
Now, one addendum onto this. In Civil War, Captain America Civil War, Peter Parker says,
"Hey guys, you ever seen that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back? You know that part? Where they're on the snow planet? With the walking thingies?
Walking thingies?
Oh, he would know what they are.
In his room, he's got an AT-AT toy.
Yeah.
So he's got an affinity for The Empire Strikes Back, so you would think he would know what those walking thingies are.
Well, I have a standout moment, and that is, it's more of a comment, really. Now, Maria Hill works with Nick Fury, right? Mm-hmm. And in this film, I noticed something very specific is that she wore no makeup. Like, pretty much none. Like, if you compare her look to, like, Captain America Civil War, anything like that. And I think this really speaks to her character and how, her job was too important. She didn't have time to do stuff like put on makeup, and it was just very real world. Like, if you think about it, if I had to get up and go to an office and save the world, like, I'd probably be running there too. I wouldn't take the time to put on some mascara. I just run over there and do it. So I loved the fact that she wore no makeup.
I gotta be honest, I didn't notice that at all.
Okay. I'm a girl. I notice things like that. So, yeah, girls notice girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, now, should we talk about the tag?
Sure. Yes, let's do it.
All right, now, in the end of the film, here's Peter Parker. He's swinging all over New York. He's having a great time because he and MJ are now a thing. That's all he's ever wanted, was to be with MJ. He's happy. He's taking selfies with himself as he's swinging from building to building, and he lands at MJ's feet, and they're planning something for later on in the day. He just couldn't be happier. And to say a high school kid is happy, you know what? Just let him have it. Until the tag happened. Oh. And there, up on a big jumbotron, is J. Jonah Jameson, who the audience went nuts because he is in the MCU. And J. Jonah Jameson was in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man series.
Right.
Played by J.K. Simmons, who played him here.
Yeah.
So is that their way of doing multiverses? And there's a couple of J. Jonah Jamesons, and it doesn't matter. I was just happy to see J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson.
And he's in charge of the Daily Bugle.
Oh, you would think.
Oh, no?
Back in the old Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in the comic, yes, you're right. He is in charge, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Bugle. But Daily Bugle, that's a newspaper company. Newspapers? What is that? Now it's all about websites. So now J. Jonah Jameson he's in charge of the dailybugle.net.
Of course.
Yes, and he's up on the big jumbotron, and he's in a show that's very reminiscent of the show InfoWars.
Oh,
that conspiracy theorist show where it's a lot of fake news.
Okay.
Well, they have this video from Quentin Beck, who is Mysterio.
Right.
So he had sent this video to the dailybugle.net before he died, and it says, I know the identity of Spider-Man, and it goes to snow. And Spider-Man, he's down watching this going, oh no, please don't. All right, good. He didn't say my name. And then it flickers back on. Is Peter Parker. After everything he's done, and now his identity has been revealed. You couldn't let this high school kid be happy for 5 minutes before all of this. So now, where do you go from here? Because he didn't want anyone to know his identity because that would put Aunt May and all of his friends in danger. Now, the whole world knows his identity. Oh my goodness. And to have that all revealed through a video that was played by J. Jonah Jameson. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Everything just came into a snap focus. So I'm just so happy they're opening up the Spider-Man universe with the other supporting players like J. Jonah Jameson. Now, one more thing I want to add before going into Phase 4. There was a Phase 4 reference.
Ooh.
In this film.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Now, before J. Jonah Jameson and Mysterio had revealed Spider-Man's true identity, when Spider-Man is talking to MJ, there are billboards in the background, and it says 1, 2, 3, and we can't wait to show you what comes next.
Oh my gosh. That's so sneaky.
Yeah. And once again, I don't know what Peter Parker and MJ were talking about because I was focused right in on that.
Wow.
Because it was right in the middle of the frame.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
That's hilarious.
Now, we could go on and on about the other mid-credit sequence of Fury and Maria Hill.
Yeah?
Not really being themselves and being Skrulls that we had met in Captain Marvel.
That was cool. That was a nice twist.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, wait, the characters we thought we were watching the whole film are not those characters.
And you wonder how far back does that go?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And we got Ben Mendelsohn back as Talos.
Yay.
And that was awesome.
Mm-hmm. I loved that.
Yeah, you love it. But then again, when you're dealing with all this reality bending, it's like, you don't know what to really put your heart into because it's not always what it seems.
That is true. Well, should we get into MCU Phase 4? And
all right.
What we know so far?
So this is a timestamp on, what's today's date?
Yes.
July the 12th.
Okay.
So this is all going to change next week with Comic-Con.
Probably.
And in no particular order, this is a preliminary list of what we were able to gather.
Okay.
Some lists
from like
had-
movies in production or
and different websites and reputable YouTube channels. We got these films right here, beginning with Black Widow.
Ah, yes.
Now, this is in production, and this, I'm going to guess, will come out May the 6th, 2020, because, once again, they're already in production, and they have a release date reserved for May the 6th.
There's also a film called The Eternals, starring Keanu Reeves and Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. As of right now, Keanu Reeves, the ink is not dry on the contract, but Angelina Jolie, that's a shoo-in. Now, you're wondering, Eternals? What's the Eternals? Well, the Eternals were creations of writer-artist Jack Kirby, who established them as a fictional race of alien super beings that were evolved from proto-humanity.
What?
That's all you need to go with.
Okay.
Well, how about this? 2 of these Eternals are Thanos' parents. Honestly, before putting together this list, I've never heard of the Eternals at all.
Okay.
But it'll be like Guardians of the Galaxy. It'll just blow up into something that's just fantastic.
Okay.
I'm going to assume. I'm just not sure how it's going to be that Keanu Reeves is in the MCU. I'm not sure my mind can bend around that.
Whoa, yeah!
Yeah.
All right. Next up, or not next up, another name on the list, of course, is Doctor Strange 2. So far we have 2 origin stories with Black Widow and the Eternals.
Okay.
Now we have a sequel with Doctor Strange 2.
And Black Panther 2.
What? Did
Well,
the
that's
first
like
film
a
do that
shoo-in.
well? What?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, of course. Oh, of course. So much to go on. And next we have Shang-Chi.
Wow.
Now this is going to go up there with Captain Marvel and Black Panther because it is the first MCU film to have an Asian lead. And Shang-Chi, he's been a Marvel comic staple for 45 years. And he came into popularity because of all the Kung Fu series of the 1970s.
That makes
Everything
sense.
was about Kung Fu.
Okay. Now, I also know there's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Awesome. Directed by James Gunn.
Thank you.
Yes. This is
Yeah.
going to be the 3rd and last film of the Guardians of the Galaxy series.
Okay.
Now those are the ones that we had really found that were the common denominator on all these lists.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple of other films that are rumored to be in Phase 4. Now, Captain Marvel 2. All right, that should be in there.
I hope so.
Thor 4. Chris Hemsworth has been talking about another Thor film. Ant-Man 3. And what about the Avengers? Well, I'm glad you asked, because there's going to be a new Avengers, Young Avengers, and Dark Avengers.
What? Oh, so these are like kind of the Avengers films?
Yes, the
new tent poles.
Yes.
Huh.
And when I say there are going to be, those are just the rumors. And they've got to have something to fill in the Avengers void.
Right.
And you got to have the Young Avengers, kind of like the X-Men. Oh, you know what? There's a couple of things I haven't seen on any of these lists, a couple of properties. But then again, Kevin Feige did say the 20th Century Fox heroes, they wouldn't really be incorporated for another 3, 4, or maybe 5 years.
I like this, though. That's more of a long game idea. Whereas someone who is in charge of, DC might slapdash put a character in because they could right away and not really think it through as to how these stories can expand out over a 10-year period, like our lovely MCU.
I just really wish they would do another Hulk film. Where's the Hulk in this list? Well, some of these missing heroes, not just the Hulk, but some of the missing heroes are going to appear on Disney Plus's new TV series.
Yay, like Loki.
Loki's going to have a series. Falcon and Bucky are going to have a series.
Which is going to be called Captain America.
Oh, it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and WandaVision.
Oh.
Who is Scarlet Witch. She's Wanda and Vision.
Oh.
WandaVision.
Wait, is that the name of it?
Yeah, WandaVision.
Oh my gosh.
So that'll delve into Scarlet Witch and Vision. I'm sure that'll be a prequel because, well, we had lost Vision.
Mhm.
Then again, we had lost Black Widow, and she'll come back in a film.
We also lost Loki.
And lost Loki, yeah. So now see.
Well, it could be the multiverse, too.
Boy. And one series that is unconfirmed, but yet is a strong contender, is Hawkeye.
Oh.
Now, if they have Hawkeye and they don't give him his comic book costume, I'm out.
Aww.
I'm out. You gotta give him that blue and purplish suit.
You know they're not.
I know they're not.
Aww.
I know.
I'm sorry.
And those TV series will roll into the Phase 4 of MCU. So in like the way that Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they were part of the MCU, just a very, very small part. They could make references and they couldn't go outside of what was happening. So it was in that same universe and that same timeline. So these new series will do just that. So can't wait to see how many of these films will actually make it into the roster when it is announced at San Diego Comic-Con.
Hey, Skywalkers! This is Eric Walker, Star Wars First Mace, the OM, the original, and I'm here for a special announcement. For the first time ever, I'm making available the cast and the crew shirts from Caravan of Courage, the Ewok Adventure. This has never been released before, so here's your chance to go grab a part of Star Wars history. These shirts will only be available for a limited time, so go to ericwalkermusic.com for more details. And remember, never land on Alderaan, or the forest moon of Endor for that matter.
Yep. Well, that wraps up episode 254 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We'd like to thank all of you Skywalkers for listening every week and watching our latest videos on YouTube. And gotta ask you, have you seen our latest Lion King video?
Ooh, yeah. We went to the Lion King press conference and they had a special surprise for us. It was a live recording or a live show of Circle of Life. So they sang that song. Lebo M, who is the African music consultant for the original Lion King, as well as this film, as well as a performer, he was there. He sang along with a lot of the Broadway cast too. And that just blew us away. So that video is up on our YouTube channel.
And we also went to Disney's California Adventure and saw the new Lion King live show, Tale of the Lion King.
And that video is up on our YouTube as well.
Well, if you want to see the best of Galaxy's Edge, go right over there to YouTube. We have so much in merchandising videos, Galaxy's Edge 101, a month-long update, and we spoke to a lot of the Batuu locals. So you'll hear a lot of their backstories. And like we asked last time, what do you guys want to see at Galaxy's Edge? We're there all the time. What do you want to see? Who can we talk to? What video do you want us to put together next? Let us know.
We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Small World Vacations. Are you thinking of a trip to the Disneyland Resort or Galaxy's Edge? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com, and their vacation planning service is free of charge. So just check it out and tell them that Skywalking Through Neverland sent you. Also, in regards to our YouTube channel, we are headed to San Diego Comic-Con, and we'll be checking out the Lucasfilm Pavilion on the show floor, which we'll be doing a video of that, and some other things in regards to San Diego Comic-Con. So let us know what you'd like to see there as well. Please tweet us at SkywalkingPod. Now, please check out all the rest of the shows on the Skywalking Network, including the Culture Popcast and Sabers and Spells. You can find us all at skywalkingthroughneverland.com. You can also find articles there on our website with regards to some of the comics coming out, the Galaxy's Edge comics by Eric Unkenhout. So make sure to check those out too. And we want to give a huge thank you for everyone who is part of the Skywalking Force. If you would like more Skywalking Through Neverland in your life, check out skywalkingforce.com and help support the ever-growing Skynet. And if you'd like to support us in a different way, please share the show with a friend or click on the links to Pozu Shoes, Oppo Suits, or TeePublic on our website under the Support Us tab. You can also contact us on social media. We are at Skywalking Pod for Twitter and Instagram. We also have our wonderful Facebook group, so search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland group. And you can also email us, share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
And would love to hear your review, so head on over there to Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and let us know what you think.
And always remember,
Neverland on Alderaan.
Some imagination, huh?
To our Skywalkers and Tweetwalkers, thanks for listening. Skywalking Through Neverland is created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Original music by Rob Dellinger. Creative consultant Mark Augushowitz. Technical advisor Peter Heitman. Facebook administrators Donald Wicks, Joey Pittman, and Norma Heitman.
Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, and clips played during this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is property of Skywalking Through Neverland, all rights reserved. Sorry, had to be said. Avengers Assemble!
And 16 more subscribers to our YouTube channel. 16! And we're at 4,000!
Help us, Skywalkers. You're our only hope.
All right, woo!